All right, guys, I'm going to share with you 3 tips on how to fix your credit in as little as 90 days, even if you've been denied credit in the past. Now, these are surefire ways to help you improve your credit faster than you've ever dreamed possible. So we all know credit's important, so I'm going to share with you 3 secrets that I've learned on how to repair your credit fast. So my name is Gasper Michelle, and I want to share you a quick story of just how I learned these secrets on credit repair. Now, my entire life, I always had decent credit. Even though I never really had any big credit cards or anything like that. For instance, I bought my first truck when I was 18 and bought a house when I was 20. And I basically bought a new vehicle every 2 to 3 years. And, even though I lost a lot of money with depreciation, I didn't really care because I never had to put any money down. Plus, I was in my 20s, so that's kind of what you do in your 20s, right? You just blow through a bunch of money. But anyways, kind of jumping forward a few years ago, I actually, the IRS actually noticed I forgot to pay them some money from an additional source of income I had. And so they did a lien on my checking account. And so that's basically where I started having like a scarcity mindset and like worried about finances and stuff like that. And I just remember like the fear I felt and like the shame and just always like constantly worrying about like, is the IRS going to take more money out of my checking account? But the other thing that happened was that at the time my credit was like around like 750 or so, which like I said wasn't great, but it's good enough to get pretty much approved by anybody, and mostly without any down payment. But it would drop down to about 500. Now the first time that happened, it actually happened in less than 30 days. I remember I was trying to buy a vehicle, and from a friend of mine, I was like, let me think about it, And when I went back less than a month later, my credit had already dropped 100 points, and he couldn't believe it. He'd never seen that before. And so that's when I found out about my lien. And so I was like, man, I was really scared. Anyways, I just decided to keep the vehicle I had. And, ever since then, I would just buy used vehicles and just kind of pay cash for them and things like that. So I thought I didn't really need credit. And also because I knew my credit was bad. And I kind of just thought it would just like magically go up, I guess. But a couple years ago, about 1 or 2 years ago, somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn, and they're saying, hey, you should offer credit repair since I sell insurance, maybe you could add that as part of your services. And so I looked at it, I was like, well, let me try it out first, before I offer to sell it to somebody, let me try it out. And I remember they were super friendly at first, but they had me sign like a 6-month contract. And I was like, okay, well, all right, whatever. And it was like $200 a month. I was like, okay, well, I don't really know how much credit repair costs. I didn't even research it. I just kind of went with whatever they told me. And so I was like, well, if it helps improve my credit, it's not a big deal, right? And so the first month, I actually received a letter, and they're from the credit bureaus, and they're like, oh, send us a police report. I was like, police report for what? So I called them, and I was like, hey, what's this? They're asking for a police report. And there's, oh, just fill it out. And I was like, yeah, but fill what out? And they're, oh, just fill it out. They're very vague about it. And I think what they try to do is they try to say that my identity was stolen. And I learned later that's what's called a credit sweep, but basically just cleans everything off your credit. But that wasn't the case. Like, I didn't want to lie about what happened. So I was just kind of like, okay, what do I do? And so I didn't really do anything, to be honest. And so, and every month they still continue to take out money. They never let me know like what was going on with my credit. And I just kind of forgot about it, to be honest. So fast forward a few weeks ago, which is around Christmas time, I decided I wanted to get a new iPhone. And I heard all these iPhone promotions out. And so I went to the first company, I think it was like AT&T. I think they had like the best deal. And they're like, oh, we're sorry, we can't give you the deal that we're promoting because you have bad credit. And I was like, okay, like that was kind of weird. And so, because every other phone I've ever had, I didn't really have too many problems getting it, And so I was like, whatever. So I went to the next company, and they're like, oh yeah, we can't give you that promotion either, but here's one you qualify for. And I actually ended up going to all the different phone companies trying to get a new iPhone. And the best one I had was a lease. But I had to put $500 down on an iPhone, which is crazy. But I literally went to all the major carriers, and that was the best deal I could find. So I was like, all right, whatever. I just went ahead and paid it because I said I needed a new phone. And so, but that's when I decided I would just learn everything about credit, how to fix it. And like I said, once I started looking into it, I realized that I can actually help other people fix their credit too. And so I partnered with a software company, and that's what they do. They help credit repair companies kind of manage and track everything. But now I'm going to share with you the 3 things I learned about how to fix your credit. So the first thing is, the first secret to repairing your credit is if there's anything derogatory on your credit, they either have to prove it or remove it. So what that means is that if you have something negative and you don't agree with it, maybe it's wrong, maybe it's incorrect, maybe it's an outright lie, what these collection agencies do is they buy your debt for pennies on the dollar, and sometimes they make mistakes, and sometimes they forget to take things off. Like for instance, on mine I had a couple of duplicates, and they were literally all like those 3 different things for the same amount, like $6.97 or something like that. They weren't even like high amounts; they were reasonable amounts, but they were not debts I owed. And so I was like, these are not my debts. Like, and all I could think of was something from like a couple years ago, and a credit card I had, and I thought I closed it out, but I didn't, and it kept reoccurring. It kept adding up charges, and so anyways, like that. So I was like, that's not mine. Like, please remove it. And so, anyways, so that's the first thing you need to do is you need to find out what is on your credit report. And so, because right now there's a lot of people that have inaccuracies that, for instance, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, says that there may be as much as 79% of people have something wrong with their credit. So the government actually made a law to kind of protect us from predatory lenders. And so that's why they have that law, prove it or remove it. And it's escaping me the name of the law right now. But I highly, highly recommend you check your credit. And I'll leave a link onto the one I recommend. And the reason I recommend it is because it comes with over $1 million in fraud, identity theft, and then it also has a bunch of cool stuff. It shows you how to fix your credit. But I know a lot of people have the free ones from Credit Karma, and they have all these other stuff. And the thing is, they're owned by the big credit companies, so they actually don't share all the information that you need to know to fix your credit. So one thing may be on one bureaus, but not on the other. So that's why it's always important to do with all 3 bureaus. And like I said, that's what the one I recommend. They have a link for that, and then you can check all 3 bureaus at the same time. And like I said, on mine, I actually found 5 on one and 6 on 2 of them. So I'm able to dispute those and try to get those removed off my credit. Okay, so secret number 2 is you have to actually have credit to build credit. I know that sucks. Because like I said, with me, I didn't have a credit card for years. I'm talking like at least 5 or 6 years. I thought I was just gonna pay everything cash and I'd be fine. And then that was the biggest mistake I made, is I stopped using credit. And so I wasn't building anything. I had no credit buying power. And so that's why I was like, so I gotta fix that. So I found a couple different companies that'll help you with that, because just so you know, part of your credit history is up to 35% is your borrowing power. So for instance, like if you have a credit card for, let's say it's $1,000, like that's always going to have less buying power than one that has 10,000. Or if you have a car payment that's a $30,000 car payment, if you still owe $20,000 on it, or even $30,000, you're pretty much maxed out. So you have to leverage out your debt. So you can't have too much debt, but you also can't have not enough debt. And in my case, I had 0 debt, so which is good for some people. So a lot of people tell you that's good, but I just didn't have anything built up. And so when I actually signed up, there's 2 that I recommend. One is called Self Lender. What they do is you open up a credit card. You actually don't have access to it for a year, but what it allows you to do is it allows you to build up money over time. So that's what I like about it. It allows me to save up money, and they actually cut me a check at the end of the year for it. And I'll like I said, I'll provide a link for you so you can check out what it is. But the other one's called the Credit Builder Card. And what they do is, just like it says, it's a credit card that helps you build your credit, and they actually report to your all 3 credit bureaus 6 times a month. So it's pretty crazy, right? But like I said, it helps you build payment history a lot faster, and it's basically a secured credit card, so it has a lot of different options to help you build your credit faster. So. And just so you know, guys, it's getting tougher and tougher to get loans right now. Last week, or actually I think it was like 2 weeks ago now, FICO announced that they're actually going to change the way they calculate your score. And the NPR actually estimated as many as 40 million Americans are likely to see their credit scores drop by 20 points or more just off these changes. So it's very, very important to have a good mixture of credit, both revolving and I can't think of the other one right now, but anyways, just 'cause I'm talking right now. But anyway, so it's very, very important to know what's on your credit and how to make it look better. So see, like I said, you do want to have some debt, but you don't want to overspend. So they do recommend you having about 25 to 33% of your buying power. So like I said, if you have a $20,000 credit card, like I would not spend over, I can't do math in my head right now, but 25% of that, just don't spend over that. But if you have a car payment that you still owe most of it, that's going to knock down your averages. So there are some tricks to help get that down. I'll help you out in some other videos on how to get that down too. So, but secret number 3 is you can actually piggyback off of somebody else's good credit. So if you know somebody who has a good credit score, you can actually ask them to add you as an authorized user, and it'll help increase your credit score, rise up to their level. So, anyways, that's one of the things I learned. I know it's not fun. I know fixing your credit's not sexy, or else you'd already have good credit, right? If it was fun and sexy, everybody would have good credit, but we don't. It's hard. It's a lot of work. It takes some discipline. So that's why I want to help as many people as I can with this service. And I know, like, if you're like me, you've been putting it off for years, and you're just like, oh, I'll just deal with this later. But so that's why I started this credit repair as part of my services, is because I want to help people just like me that are struggling. Because I believe what Zig Ziglar says: if you help enough people get what they want in life, you'll get what you want. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is help as many people as I can. So, but also, like I said, I want to make it fun and sexy. So that's why when you schedule a free consultation with me, I'm going to bribe you. I'm going to give you a $100 hotel savings card that you can use for any trip, any vacation. But the other thing I know is we're just like little kids, is sometimes we have to bribe ourselves to do these things. So, you know, like the saying is, what gets rewarded gets repeated. So that's why I'm trying to do this, to help you out, because I know it's going to help you in the future. So, but another thing I want to do is, once you reach your goal, whatever that may be. For instance, mine is 750. Like, I want to be at 750 by my birthday, which is actually about a 200 and almost 50 point increase in about 100 days. And I know it's possible just because I know all the tricks now. But it's going to take a lot of work. So I'm going to have to do all the things right. Basically, going to have to make sure I'm disciplined, taking care of stuff, but it is possible. So that's what I want you to know for you, is having good credit is possible. I want you to truly, truly believe that. So, so that's why I'm offering a free vacation voucher. It's to one of over 50 locations. And I've in my insurance agency, I've given away dozens of them, and everybody loves them. They're great. I partnered with a travel company, and they're the ones that allow me to give these vouchers away. So I want to help give you one, so you can help improve your credit score. And right now, I'm also doing another promotion. So there's basically 3 incentives for you to go ahead and do this right now. Is I'm also we have 3 different packages. The first one is up to 3 disputes corrected for $47 a month. The second one is up to 6 for $77, and the third is unlimited disputes for $97 a month. But what I'm doing right now for this promotion is we're going to give you unlimited disputes for $47 a month. So it's super, super affordable. So if you're watching this video on YouTube, just click on the link or wherever you're watching this, and I appreciate your time. All right, thanks. Bye.